Welcome to another episode of National Divorce Talk Raw. There was some disturbing news that came out recently that I feel portends horribly for the future of America and increases the chance of civil war and violence, which I do not want and do not support. Unfortunately, when I found out about this news story, I also found out at the same time that it received no coverage in liberal media, which means it's only going to be worse than it possibly could be. So here's basically the story update. A couple weeks ago, the DOJ and the FBI raided Donald Trump's house, talking about secret documents being stolen. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Not for me to say, it's for them to say. And that's being worked out. But one of the problems that happened was that Trump's supporters felt that Trump was being unfairly targeted. They felt that this was part of the deep state attack against Donald Trump, they claimed, while he was president, continuing after his term was over. And so, for millions of Americans, the moment that the FBI raided his house, you had a lot of people saying the FBI is untrustworthy, the DOJ is untrustworthy, this is an attack on Donald Trump, this isn't about fairness, this is because the deep state hates him. Now, I don't agree with that narrative, and I don't like Donald Trump. But, as I've always said, I got two eyeballs and a working synapse. You have 78 million people who were told by Joe Biden recently that they're enemies of the country. And a few weeks before that, these people saw their leader, Donald Trump, be prosecuted and persecuted by the Justice Department as they see it. And so it got so bad that the FBI started coming under verbal attack. I think there was somebody that tried to charge one of their buildings. And you had Merrick Garland come on TV and say, the FBI is above reproach. The investigation into Donald Trump is completely fair. There's no deep state activity. This is just about justice. In no way is he being targeted. Well, at that time, we had said, if it really is justice, then great. But if you don't handle this right, it's going to appear like a banana republic and a targeted attempt to go after a former politician using the limbs of the government to do so, which is horrible. So it's already being perceived that way by conservatives as we go into midterms, which is bad. Now I want to throw some gasoline on that fire. It recently came out that the FBI basically, according to them, I'm not saying this, I'm reporting the news. It looks like the FBI was not honest with the public, misled us, and railroaded an investigation against Matt Gaetz, who is an aide of Donald Trump's. And that came out recently. And you have not conservatives, liberals pointing that out. So let's be careful. FBI, DOJ raid Donald Trump's house. Trump supporters freak out. Oh, this is the deep state coming after our guy. We knew it. FBI, DOJ, Merrick Garland goes, no, this is not the deep state. This is justice being done. Everything's on the up and up. FBI is beyond reproach. Okay. Now, while that debate's going on, and you have 78 million people questioning the FBI, which is really bad and is a sign of civil war coming, in the middle of that, it now comes out that there was another FBI investigation where it looks like they really did try to mislead and railroad somebody. Again, not my words. I'm not saying that. I'm simply reporting to you what the news is saying. And I'm pointing out that if that analysis by non-conservative news is accurate, then what you just did was tell those 78 million people that feel the deep state's after Trump, yeah, you're all right. Right? So there's already a debate. Is the deep state after Trump? And in the middle of this debate, it comes out, well, actually, it does kind of look like the FBI railroaded Matt Gaetz based upon lies and mischief. I'm not saying that. Liberal news is saying that. So if you're trying to defend the reputation of the FBI at a scale never before seen in American history, having a news story coming out saying, yeah, it really does look like the FBI wasn't on the up and up in this other investigation is really, really, really bad for the image of the FBI. And that's really, really, really bad for peace in America. So I'm not saying these things. I don't support these views. What I'm saying is we need to watch out for civil war. You already had 78 million people being told by the president they're enemies of the state. You already had all of these people concerned that the government was coming after their politician. And now you have confirmation of an improper investigation against someone associated with Trump. This will only convince all the 78 million MAGA people that they are right and that the deep state is against them and Donald Trump, and only make the tensions even worse before we go into midterms. So let me show you the proof. And again, I don't like Gates. I don't like Trump. But here we go. So Trump's 2024 GOP rally behind him in the FBI search. So after the FBI raided him, he was saying it's a deep state coming for me. A lot of his backers backed him on that and started questioning the legitimacy of the FBI. That was really bad for the FBI, and it's really bad for the Justice Department, and it's really bad for justice in America that you have that many people questioning the authenticity or the goodness of the Justice Department. Again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying that's a really unstable sign. It's not good for people to question if the Justice Department's working for them or not. Okay. Another one, FBI comes under threat. Right. FBI comes under threat, tries to stay out of the fray. Let's go to this one. Lindsey Graham warns of riots in streets if Trump is prosecuted. So I already showed you FBI was attacked, reputation attacked. And then here's the people who back Trump already saying, hey, we think the deep state's coming after you and we'll riot if you indict Trump. And then here's the senator going, there's going to be riots if Trump's prosecuted. And now we see this. This came out very recently. Here's Crystal and Sagar. That is not Fox News. That is not Breitbart News. These are not friends of Donald Trump. These are not friends of Matt Gaetz. Let's take a look at what they have to say. Give it a second. Okay, let me get that video actually working, and then I will.
That also, he also said he had information based on that.
And then somehow this missing
Okay, let's try to do that one more time.
FBI agent
Yes,
in
that
Iran
also.
was.
That also. He also said he had information based on that missing FBI.
He was going to
in
use
Iran.
the $25 million, not
Right.
for himself,
Correct.
but to rescue this guy in Iran.
Anyway,
Very confusing.
it does turn out to be true. He was prosecuted. He was convicted of blackmailing Don Gates, and he has been sentenced last week to 5 years in prison for the attempted extortion of the congressman. And so, I'm not a big fan of Matt Gaetz over here, but it does look, Crystal, like he was completely railroaded by the FBI and the DOJ, who leaked selectively salacious details of the case against him, basically tried him in the court of public opinion, and
You get the idea. So that was not Fox News and not Breitbart. Those are liberals, and that's
at the
a
end of the
liberal
day,
program.
he's not getting prosecuted.
And I would encourage you to look more into it. But their analysis is that basically Matt Gaetz was railroaded and that he didn't do anything wrong, and it was a big setup. And the Justice Department and the media went in for it and went crazy and just said, he did this, he did that, and it never happened. And they basically tried to ruin his reputation based upon nothing and through an improper investigation. Again, I'm not saying that, not my opinion. I'm pointing out you have liberals saying that, while a bunch of conservatives are questioning the veracity of the FBI. And I'm worried about civil war happening, and in countries where 78 million people question the legitimacy of the law enforcement agency is a bad sign. So fuel just got dumped on the fire. People were already questioning the legitimacy of the FBI. Not me. I don't support that talk. But a lot of Americans were. Americans who don't share values with Californians. And now the news just told them, oh, yeah, you guys are totally right about your conspiracy theory. Now, do you think that's going to put the MAGA people into overdrive, or it'll calm them down right before midterms? Think about it. Yep, James Young, you're right. You're right, James Young. You're right. Anyways, we don't want bad things to happen. We don't want civil war to happen. We don't want people to question the authenticity or the goodness of justice departments and the governments. That's how chaos happens. I'm reporting to you that it seems to be getting worse. And you can expect Trump supporters to have an even worse opinion of the Justice Department as we approach midterms than they did a month ago. And that's saying something really, really bad. Keeping you informed. Talk to you soon.